7!
Hi, I'm Chris Marland.
And I'm Matt Hancock, and welcome to Playing Devil's Advocate,
The show where we look at movies and ask, how bad was it really?
Reimaginings are all the rage these days, from old films getting a new coat of paint to classic TV shows coming to the big screen.
And the more well-loved a series, the more likely it is to get the Hollywood treatment.
And back in 2007, few TV shows were more loved and more deserving of a filmed adaptation than GoBots.
This is Transformers.
Don't know the story? I mean, it's been retold enough times. The Transformers focuses on a war between rival factions of sentient machines, the heroic Autobots and the evil Decepticons.
Robots turn into cars and punch each other. How hard is it to screw that up?
Well, the genius behind Pearl Harbor is a good start.
Enter Michael Bay, who, despite not having the best track record with accurate representations, is fantastic when it comes to his action scenes.
With all that in mind, let's take a look and see why people are so divided on Transformers.
After an opening narration by Peter Cullen, the original Optimus Prime no less, we start following the exploits of some nameless soldiers.
What do you mean? Of course they have names. See, we have Black Guy, Latino Guy, Glasses Guy, and Main Guy.
Those aren't real names.
But you can tell who is who, right? So after our heroes land at sunset, we cut to the next day, around noon apparently, as they do mostly pointless shit.
She has your laugh.
She laughed?
Her first one, yeah.
You sure she didn't just fart?
Do laughs usually sound like farts?
Yes. However, a mysterious helicopter is forced to land at the base. Later that day, apparently. Now noon the following day. Oh wait, it's night now. When the helicopter is revealed to be one of the titular Transformers.
And this lets me finally play the Michael Bay drinking game. Take one shot after every explosion.
To give Bay some credit, he can shoot action scenes well, though this scene does seem to be populated by mostly lens flare. However, you can make the argument that this was done to keep the Decepticon blackout here.
You know their names?
Well, the film sure as hell doesn't care to tell, so I might as well remember for it.
It does a good job of obscuring Blackout before the actual reveal of the Really? Is this really your priority? A fucking photo?
But enough of that shit. Let's cut to our real main character, Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf, selling his grandfather's possessions to his classmates in not Steve Carell's class.
Because broken glasses are a real pull for high schoolers.
And here we have some of the basic instruments and tools used by 19th century seamen.
Wow, never heard that joke before.
After school, Sam goes to buy a used car from one of our many side characters, or at least the caricatures that pass for side characters in this film.
Let me explain something to you, okay? You ever see 40-Year-Old Virgin? Yeah. Okay, that's what this is, and this is 50-Year-Old Virgin.
No, that's the 40-year-old virgin. Can you not see it? Sam leaves with a car bearing the symbol of the Autobots.
I'm gonna call it now. That car is a GoBot.
If you make that joke again, I swear I will make this show live action to hit you.
Worth it.
I'll give the film benefit of the doubt here. It does an alright job of building anticipation for the reveal of the Transformers.
Going with the rule of Jaws, waiting to show your monster, rather than showing them outright, even if it's buying time with pointless scenes, like these people with no real significance.
Later that day, Sam manages to get the hot girl in school at a party populated by stereotypes, played by
Megan Fox,
into his rust bucket of a car.
She's called Michaela, but let's be honest, you'll just be referring to her as Megan Fox the whole time.
The main problem with spending so much attention on Sam is that he's just not very interesting. If you want a human for the audience to relate to, fine, but the show realised that the focus was on the robots, not the humans.
So after Bay's personal Playboy shoot, they apparently drive around long enough for it to be night again.
This is one of the film's greatest flaws. and obeys direction in general. He just puts attractive women in these roles regardless of the talent. Women are just eye candy to him.
I think there's a lot more than meets the eye with you.
What the hell was that?
The subtle alarm. I thought we could make it a regular thing.
Never use that again.
The big problem with this film is the focus on the humans, be it these guys in the desert or the world's most attractive hacker / supermodel helping the government stop Not Soundwave.
I mean, this whole action scene in a desert is ultimately pointless, even if it does lead to this funny scene.
It's an emergency Pentagon call. I need you. Do you understand? It's an emergency. I don't have a credit card.
Sir, the attitude is not going to speed things up any bit at all. I'm going to ask you to speak into the mouthpiece very clearly.
I swear to Christ, this film is more of a cartoon than the actual cartoon.
And the chick who should have been playing the love interest finally reveals her true purpose of introducing the best character in every film he's in, Anthony Anderson.
Shut up, Grandma! What are you doing here?
Just give me a break, will you?
Grandma, drink your prune juice!
The woman playing the hacker girl is fine as an actress, but doesn't seem to fit well in this role. The way her hair is styled, the amount of makeup she has on, doesn't make me think that for a second that she is a hacker girl. It's as though Bay cared more about appearance than the actual character itself.
As we cut back to Sam's plot, where he apparently has a girl's bike. I mean, is it his mum's? Why would a grown woman have a bike like that?
I've had the worst day ever. I've been followed here on my mother's bike.
I repeat, what grown woman rides a bike like that? It has tassels! And so the Transformer barricade is finally revealed, and I have to say the design is terrible. The problem I have is that the exposed areas have very little armor plating, resulting in a mass of metal that just comes across as clutter, especially in the faces.
Later that night, apparently,
Pick a time of day and develop the scene!
the robots finally go at it. And yet the focus is on Sam? Cut back to the damn robots!
Takes 15 minutes till we finally get to see this battle between two machines, and instead Bay thinks we should focus on Shia LaBeouf struggling with a tiny droid.
This is easily 100 times cooler than Armageddon. I swear to God.
Anything is 100 times better than Armageddon.
So an hour in, we're finally introduced to the Autobots, though unfortunately this is the only film that gives them any names or personalities.
It turns out that the machines are after the Allspark, a cube which can give life to new Transformers.
And finally, we feel like something is actually happening.
Our heroes rush to Sam's home to retrieve his grandfather's glasses, which hold the location to the cube.
Judy, better call the city. We got a blown transformer. Power poles sparking all over the place. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a waste.
Who wouldn't be able to see Autobots outside their neighbor's house?
There are robots in disguise. Focus on the disguise. But federal agents, or at least the caricatures of federal agents, come in to ruin the fun and get the plot moving again.
You can turn that into a truck. Why are you running?
Unfortunately, the feds are able to capture Bumblebee.
Look, he's not fighting back.
Fly, you fools.
And so all the random pointless characters meet up with Sam, the real hero, at the Hoover Dam, where Megatron, the leader of the Decepticons, is held on ice, along with the Allspark.
The film goes back to its pointless explaining, which I'm sure we've heard already. It doesn't help when all the characters are a complete bore to watch.
Except for Anthony Anderson.
The robots have more personality than any of these humans.
Except for Anthony Anderson.
And they are really underused. This is a Transformers movie. Cut it out with all this explaining, get back to robots fighting!
But keep in Anthony Anderson. However, the Decepticons attack, causing them to flee with the Allspark to keep it away from them. Meanwhile, however, Megatron is finally released, and he's voiced by Hugo Weaving. Sweet!
Lord Megatron. Where is the cube? The humans have taken it. You fail me yet again, Starscream.
This leads to our big final battle, while the human characters try to have some sort of point.
They don't. To give this final action scene some credit, it's worth the wait. It's really big and epic, and shows the area where Michael Way works best as a director.
This final battle scene for me is very average. It's by far the best in the film, but what it lacked is choreography. It's mainly robots just hitting each other, and now and then one falls into a big building, destroying half of it. It's as though when Michael Bay was trying to explain to the crew what he wanted for this film, he just got out a Lego set and demolished it using Transformers toys. I know Bay is well known for making entertaining battle sequences, but here I find it pretty dull. It doesn't help when half the time it focuses on Sam and the military!
It sounds like you're against robots hitting each other and destroying buildings. How are you not loving this? There are robots hitting each other and destroying buildings!
The fighting ends when Sam fuses the Allspark with Megatron, destroying both him and the cube.
And our film concludes with Optimus' final epilogue, as the Autobots watch Sam and Michaela making out. Kind of awkward when you think about it.
With all that in mind, what do we think of the film?
I thought it was fun for the most part. It had some cool fight scenes and was actually pretty funny at times. But the designs felt too convoluted, and there was way too much time devoted to unnecessary characters who in the grand scheme of things contributed very little. I wish they'd gone with designs similar to the War for Cybertron line, but for what we got, I was entertained.
I find the first Transformers film to be pretty forgettable. The film isn't bad, but I don't find it that entertaining. It's as though the studio were trying their hardest to make it less of a Transformers film and more of an action thriller with quirky comedy.
And robots.
And call it Transformers, in order to increase the numbers at the box office. Were they embarrassed by the fact they were doing a film based on toys? Who knows? This isn't the Transformers film I wanted to see, but maybe it was a good start for the franchise. And better and more entertaining sequels were on their way.
Hindsight's a bitch, ain't it? So join us next time when we defend Indiana Jones 4.
Wait, you actually like that film?
Yeah, it was alright. Don't you like it?
Don't I like it? Don't I like it? Do I like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Crystal fucking Skull? By the sound of voice, what do you think? No, I do not like it at all. Oh my god, why do you like this film?
Next time it's Indiana Jones 4.
CGI monkeys, CGI goes like, oh yeah, the CGI is horrendous in that film, honestly. But I was really excited for this film. I was really pumped up. I